You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah?
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Daredevil is born again on Disney Plus.
My name is Matthew Murdoch. I'm a lawyer. Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you? A really good one.
Critics everywhere agree it's the best Marvel television series. Gritty, intense, and elevated. It's Daredevil at his best.
If you step out of line, I will be there.
Marvel Television's Daredevil, Born Again, now streaming only on Disney Plus.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Turn your mics on so we can enjoy some pre-segment banter. How's everyone doing today?
I don't know if we're ready to have the conversation. DK Metcalf's really athletic, but not that good.
That's a different sold segment of you're not ready for this conversation.
Sorry.
Ooh.
He's good. He's very good, but he's not amazing. He's fast. He's big. He's
JSN
strong.
emerged.
He's like Dan.
I don't need him anymore.
No?
Yeah.
Big, fast, and strong?
Yeah.
National legend?
What does DK stand for?
DraftKings.
That's true. The crown is yours. He should be sponsored by Burger King. DK, have it your...
You should change his name to BK Metcalf.
There it is.
It's actually his first name, DeKalen. So it's like D-E, then K. So that's where the DK comes from.
You don't think we're ready to have the conversation about whether DK Metcalf should do more with that body? That body was made to play wide receiver. That he came into the league. We were all made aware of his career from Oklahoma State at the same time because of physically he walked into Pete Carroll's office and he was shirtless. And so we all thought that receiver type, the new evolution of receiver, should dominate the league. He's been great, though, has he not? Like, are we not giving him great?
I think DK Metcalf has done really well. He's a great wide receiver. I don't think it's because of his body. I think you're objectifying an NFL wide receiver, and I'm not going to stand for it. I feel like a piece of meat sitting here as you talk about wide receivers. They're more than just their body, Dan.
He went to Ole Miss, by the way.
I didn't want to come and just jump on that. I wasn't sure if we were going to go
Wide
there.
receiver room was A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf.
That's crazy.
How were they not better?
And they were better in the NFL than they were in college. That's the real travesty.
I actually confused him, honest to God, with a guy whose literal last name was Blackman. From Oklahoma State.
Justin Blackman?
He was good for a while.
One of the great John Brinkus sports science episodes.
Oh, sports science, man.
He had the catch radius of a two-car garage.
Oh, yeah? What's Brinkus up to?
He's actually broadcasting a highlight.
He has his own network.
Yeah, Brink TV.
Yeah, he has his own network.
DK Metcalf as a number one, because you guys were arguing with me whether Tyler Lockett was ever a number one or not. Are we not in agreement that if we're trying to select from the last 10 years of wide receiver from somebody and the choice is between Lockett or DK Metcalf, if we can have 10 years of their career, who are you choosing?
Lockett.
Lock it in.
Lock me, man.
Legendary status.
That's an NFL legend.
I want to be a legend. Sorry, Dan. I want to be remembered.
And also, just projecting, DK's not going to have the longevity that Tyler Lockett had. Big-bodied wide receivers, they come crashing to the ground carrying their own weight. The way that Roy Williams just went from one day to the next. Like, big-body receivers just happens.
Yeah, I mean, DK Metcalf is a specimen. Height, weight, speed, obviously, strength, a part of that. And if he gets with a quarterback, like if he does go to a contender with one of these quarterbacks who can take that ability to the next level, you'll probably see a career year from DK Metcalf.
A specimen, some might say.
Chris Cody has announced that he is out on J.J. Redick.
Oh, we don't remember that one? Okay.
I don't know why he's out on J.J. Redick.
I just think that I liked him when he was doing his podcast. I would see the clips and I would be like, oh, he seems likable. And now he just seems like he's reverted to like Duke JJ Redick. He's so condescending now to the media. It's just every single clip now that I see, I have the opposite reaction of just like, ooh, that's unlikable. And I know he's probably trying to do that. He's trying to distance himself. I'm not a media man. I'm a coach. I'm a serious coach. But it's just every single clip I see is unlikable.
Probably what Tony's going to do when he gets over to the U.
I would never flip up. Come on.
Nah, come on.
Stays true. You know what makes him more obnoxious is that most coaches who are like, oh, media, like they're coaches, right? But JJ does the, oh, media, I did your job way better. You guys are so terrible at doing that.
I literally know what your job is because I did it.
He was pretty good at it, though.
Right? But he was likable then. I don't know. It's just maybe
because that's the job.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not him.
But is he telling that to beat writers?
But you know what this is, right? This is the true JJ Redick, right? Like one of my favorite game ops decisions in the history of all sports was the Wizards years ago. This is JJ Redick is in the league, but in games that the Wizards aren't playing against the JJ Redick team, when the opposing team was at the free throw line, they would put a picture of JJ Redick up on the Jumbotron. And the crowd would instantly start booing because it's a Maryland stronghold, and everybody hates JJ Redick. Now, I think this is earlier in his career because after he left Orlando, I think people kind of forgot how hated JJ Redick was. And it only for it to come back up now. The thing, Dan, that made me laugh, I want to say we talked about this, but maybe we didn't, where Michael Porter Jr. interviewed JJ Redick on his podcast, and he asked him, wait, so were you ranked in high school? And JJ Redick says, well, I mean, I was McDonald's All-American MVP. Does that count, right?
Are bonita fish big?
What?
Anybody get that reference? Are we here?
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
he's just still recruiting.
They're a trophy fish. I don't.
But
I don't know.
Just trying to connect with you, so you sign with Miami.
File.
I really don't understand what Chris Cody is doing. It seems to me that Chris Cody is taking just that podcast experience and erasing the rest of who JJ Redick has been the entirety of his life, which is, how does JJ Redick get to 14 points a game in that particular league? Being an asshole on purpose, fighting everyone, doesn't care who dislikes him, uncommonly brave at sort of leaning into, do not care how much you dislike me, I'm going to get into your league and I'm going to make millions of dollars.
Also good at shooting.
Yeah,
like being an all-time great shooter, probably.
Greatest shooter in college history, probably.
And that was a ridiculous question from Michael Porter Jr. if he was ranked.
He was McDonald.
That's a ridiculous question.
I get it. Michael Porter Jr. was like 8 when JJ Redick was at Duke. But it's like, you got to know, 99.9% of the players in the NBA, you got to know, they were awesome in high school too. like the number.
Bad question.
But then there's levels to it. It's not like, hey, I was highly ranked, but I didn't make the All-American game. It was like, no, I was him. Nobody was better than I was.
I went to Duke when Duke was Duke. I was the best player at Duke.
ACC
when
Player
Duke
of the
was
Year
Duke.
twice.
Reruns.
Right? National championship, Final Fours, right? Again, McDonald's All-American, a lottery pick in the NBA, right? This doesn't happen for the guy that kind of like was, I had a growth spurt.
But in the history of Duke, though, there have only been 2 guys who have actually had all of that and embraced, I don't care that you hate me, eat also.
Yeah.
It's him and Leitner on, I'll invite the hate and I'll be better than your hate and I'll welcome it. And the idea that JJ Redick changed Chris Cody's mind on who he is because he did a podcast for a couple of years.
He was likable for a couple years.
It's that we forget. He got himself into the media and he was there for long enough. And look, there's people online trying to convince me that like Paul George was better than Dwayne Wade at their peaks. Like everyone forgets everything because of what's happening right now. So Redick goes and does a podcast for a couple of years. He's jovial and likable and he does a good job on First Take. And every young person watching basketball might not remember when he was with Duke or the Orlando Magic.
He just hit it. It was those First Take appearances where he would like dunk on Stephen A. Smith.
Because no one can.
That's where I became. That's where I started.
By the way, Chris, what kind of skill set does it take to dunk on Stephen A. Smith? Is it nice, humble? Well, pardon me, Mr. Smith, but I believe you might be mistaken. Or is it the asshole? And I say this as someone, I like JJ Redick. I like JJ. People who are assholes. I
like him.
No. I didn't.
What he did to Mad Dog was unfair and unreasonable, and everybody knows it. Okay.
But he was being an asshole in a room full of assholes.
Mad Dog's an asshole.
Come on now. Well, look, we could I love JJ Redick. We could love Mad Dog and also admit
Mad Dog.
he's an asshole.
I don't understand what you guys are doing in the history of sports. Duke arrogance and the face of it, it's one of the most hateable things there are in the history of sports. And on that Mount Rushmore, there ain't 4. There are 2.
I'll give it another name.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
Forgive me. Grayson Allen's a good one.
pull.
Thank you. Yes.
And
Hawkins
another
with a
one.
basketball
Extra
pull.
million for your NIL.
And another one, although he's mellowed out now that he's head coach, but John Shire was an asshole too.
I like him.
Nobody liked John Shire in college, man. That dude was a jerk.
I like him.
You know what? Dan's right. This is on me. This is my fault.
You're out on
JJ hasn't changed. I've changed.
You've changed.
Well, but it's not just that, though. Hold on a second. So now
I'm sorry, Dan.
I give you the whole history of J.J. Redick, and now I add to it, first-time coach cuts the line. Hey, here are LeBron and Luka as your proteges. You think that's going to feed the arrogance a little bit?
Dude, let me tell you something. When they beat the Nuggets like a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "We circled this game on the calendar," I said, "Oh no," because here's the most dangerous part of any coach's timeline is when you fall in love with your own bullshit. Right? You can bullshit those guys in the locker room as much as you want, as much as you need. When you talk to everybody else, hey man, was this a big game? You say, it's another game on the schedule. Obviously, they're a really good team, but and we kind of looked at it as a little bit of a measuring stick. But look, there's a lot of season left, and I'm sure we're going to see more of them. We'll probably see them down the line, and they'll have changed or will have changed. There are answers you give. You can't be like, this was our Super Bowl and we won it. I'm like, dog, it was before the All-Star
Game
break.
67.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too much of I'm high on my own supply,
Chris, tell me this. What coach's disposition do you like in the media? Like when they're talk to the media? Or I would
Missoula. I love it.
Okay.
He's so annoying with the media. He just is like, oh, that didn't matter. That game didn't matter.
Isn't that just another form of asshole?
I was going to say, it's the
other
same
side of the
thing.
spectrum.
But the other side, where he's not being, I guess he's being arrogant.
He's absolutely being arrogant.
That is arrogant.
He was asked, how does it feel to be in if not the first one of the few times in NBA history of finals where both head coaches are black, and his answer was, I wonder how many of them were Christian. I'm like, buddy.
It's a good question. I'm curious.
Yeah,
It's a good question.
I'll get an answer for you. Almost all of them.
We could probably
Almost all of them were Christian.
You could have answered at least. You would have gotten his question answered. That's it.
I got to go back to Red Auerbach to get to okay, maybe a couple of them were Jewish.
I like him.
He's the asshole I really don't enjoy because
we're playing different games, you and I.
He's flippant, man. No,
you don't like flippant asshole.
I don't like flippant asshole, man.
Listen, I also think that for J.J. Redick, who is, to Dan's point, the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers on a team with LeBron James and Luka Doncic,
spoiled.
You have to get up there and not treat media a certain way, but you got to exude a certain confidence in every room to be able to go in that room and get them to be like, hey, I got to respect this guy. Yeah. I got to listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. And so that is a piece of it that may be a little different than the media game. And for that reason, I like him.
I mean, being a media member, being a podcaster, obviously the last thing that J.J. Redick did was podcasting. If you were given the keys to a kingdom in an NBA setting and being the head coach, how would you be? Would you be the flippant asshole that you hate? Would you morph into something different?
I'd be J.J. Redick.
So you would be an asshole too?
I would, absolutely, because a couple of things. First of all, what he said, you got to be able to, especially in that town, right?
Yeah.
Frank Vogel won a championship with the Lakers, and they got his ass up out of here. Yeah. Paul Westhead won a championship with the Lakers. They got his ass up out of there. You have to have some sort of gravitas when you walk in the room, regardless of who you're coaching, but especially when you're coaching those kind of guys, right? Number one. Number two, I don't know if you've noticed, Tony, I'm a bit of an asshole. Again, J.J. Redick, this is not, that's who I am. So for me to be nice and kind and oh, no, it's a good, I can't do the Doc Rivers. That's a very handsome question you just asked me or whatever. I can't do that stuff where everyone's laughing. I'm going to be a little sarcastic jerk, especially if I hear a question that has either been answered before or a question that is especially lazy or ill-constructed or whatever, because I'm going to have the same judgments that I'm sure J.J. Redick had. That's why I'm not mad at it. I'm just pointing it out that, hey, man, you might be getting a little high on your own supply.
Larry Brown, recent Jew.
There you go.
Found it.
Define recent.
That is a while ago.
I was in high school.
He just got bar mitzvahed.
Chris Cody, can you explain to me after
the red foods?
Finally,
we'll get
Dan.
to that another day.
Oh my goodness!
I do want to get to
red
that.
Red foods are killing us, by the way.
Yeah.
I do want to get to your.
Thank you.
It's a good impersonation. The
Damn
limited,
good.
limited
I thought it was a
Kennedy.
soundbite.
Yes. Chris, okay, fine. Why are you out on red food?
Yes, we got there.
I mean, we can all agree that cranberries are overrated, right?
No way.
All right, I'm just going to do the whole
Not a
take.
fan.
All right, look.
Cranberries.
There are so many things that I can point to where the red version of that food is the inferior version of that
Ooh, I don't
food.
know.
Red potatoes, the worst of the potatoes.
No, I like them.
Put it on the poll. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are the red potatoes the worst of the potatoes?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's the peppers, the red pepper. I
Love
prefer the
peppers.
yellow. I prefer the orange.
Love the
The
green.
Oh, you're
beans,
talking about
kidney
like the
beans.
bell pepper?
Get kidney beans out of here.
No, kidney beans are whack. Yeah, you're right.
The red apple, inferior to the green
worst apple. It's the worst apple.
That's
Red
right.
grapes.
Hold on, slow it down. Put it on the poll. Is the red apple inferior to the green apple?
The red grapes. Red onion. I could go on for days.
Red onion
guys.
is in a burger. You put some red onion in
Give me
there.
that sweet onion.
I got one for you.
In a burger.
Fanta.
Red Fanta.
Worst.
Don't you dare.
That's worst flavor.
Crazy.
The worst flavor.
Best flavor by far.
Red tomatoes.
You like it?
I like it.
Taco Bell's coming out with a midnight flavor, Baja Midnight.
But there's just so many red foods that are overrated.
That's the fattest thing you know.
Cherries.
Hold on. Not the country.
You want to bet they are?
Dan definitely just read a hype beast post about Taco Bell's new Baja Blast flavor.
Whoever the Shams Charania of fast food, Dan has him
Fat food.
on
Fat
alerts.
food. Fat food.
Oh, look what just came up.
A fat food update. But what is that? What does that even mean? Baja Midnight. Like, what? That sounds like that's purple poison. That's a battery acid.
drink.
That's only something that people who are drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning are going to have.
I can't believe Chris doesn't like the cranberries, man. What about Zombie? That was a great
Cranberries,
song.
gross. Or the radish, get that out of my salad. I'm just saying, there's one red food that I will
What have
say
you ever eaten a radish?
in a salad. I'm always just like, what is this?
Starburst.
I don't
outta here.
know. I kind of feel like it's all in your head, man.
What's the best Starburst?
Red.
No,
Easily.
I'm a pink or an orange guy.
Wow.
That's just me.
Put it on
Orange
the
is
poll.
the worst.
Starburst. Best Starburst. Red, pink,
Orange, yellow. Those four.
Yellow. Put up those 4. Red velvet cake.
See, all right, now you're kind of talking my language. I do like a little red. But
Supermassive black hole.
I would say the only red food that I will say I can't say a negative thing about, watermelon is delightful.
Oh, watermelon.
I won't say a bad word about
more pink,
watermelon.
though. Watermelon's more pink.
Isn't it green? Like the
It is.
inside
On
is.
the inside.
It's like
green.
pink. And also, there's not like an alternative.
We're all
version
pink on
of
the
a-
inside.
I can't eat red velvet cake because if I do, it comes up the system. And then
I thought red velvet was
and
just
then-
chocolate cake dye.
It is.
Exactly,
It's
but the
red dye
dye
40, it's
the
killing
dye
all
makes smells and then they linger. I mean, they have to
So
let it linger.
you
You're
agree with me.
lactose.
I'm just saying of all, like everything I named here, it's just the inferior version, the red version. I'm just out on red foods.
Was Braun lactose? Is that why they took the ice cream away?
Ooh.
On a plane?
Maybe he
Because
was
then
letting
that
it
would
linger.
make sense. I'm asking you, Dan. I feel like you have this information.
It would make sense.
Glad I got that off my chest.
The
Thank you.
nutritionist
Milk
took
is for babies.
the
Except for raw
nutrition.
milk.
The nutritionist took the ice cream off of the plane. It was not Pat Riley. That's all I'm
So
saying.
Pat
about
Riley
that.
said, but it's not me, it's my family, is basically what he's saying.
How does a nutritionist feel so JJ Redick-like confidence to say, I'm taking something away from LeBron James?
I don't know the answer to that question.
He
but-
or she should have been fired.
Well, the ice cream returned the next day. I don't know
Okay.
if the nutritionist did or didn't, but the ice cream did return when LeBron James.
The plum
requested
also
it.
overrated.
Think about the butterfly effect of that, though. That alone should have gotten that nutritionist fired because A, it's attributed to Pat Riley, so much so that 10 years later we're telling stories on podcasts, and B, it was the fall of potentially the best basketball dynasty we could have ever seen. That's a documentary that should be produced by Meadowlark and then marketed by Neon Films
There you go.
to win
I like
Best
him.
Picture.
It's crazy because he said it on a podcast about something that happened over a decade removed from it. I think we've all moved on, and yet people inside the Miami Heat heard it loud and clear and said, Dan, you've got to clarify this.
They weren't asking for me to report it. They were just telling me, and I thought it'd be funny to report it.
All right, I know I gotta do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Le Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics lip gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at nyxcosmetics.com or a retailer near you.
Wow. What's up? I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
If you're a small business owner, you know how difficult it can be hiring the right people. And it can be a real grind. It takes the right partner to make sure you're getting the most qualified candidates. Well, got the right partner for you. LinkedIn Jobs. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free. Share it with your network and get qualified candidates that you can manage all in one place. Meadowlark Media continues to grow as a content studio, and we strive to hire only the best and most qualified candidates. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, they've made it easy for us to find them. So, if you're a small business owner looking for the perfect hire, LinkedIn has you covered. With LinkedIn's new job posting feature, you can write job descriptions effortlessly and get your job in front of the right people using deep candidate insights. Quality matters. Based on LinkedIn data, 72% of small businesses using LinkedIn say it helps them find top talent. Join over 2.5 million small businesses using LinkedIn for hiring today. Find your next great hire only on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Don Le Batard.
Cheaters never prosper.
Stugotz.
I ain't cheating.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The plum is red. I thought the red. I thought
Close
it's
enough
purple.
for this conversation.
Second
Come on, what are we
So
doing?
you don't like pepperonis, Chris?
I'm colorblind.
Ooh, pepperoni.
Pepperonis are.
Have we talked about that? No.
We have not talked
I'm not
about
completely colorblind, but I'm pretty colorblind.
How does it affect you?
Pinks and reds are really tough. 1 in 12 men are colorblind. And
Really?
My kids, they crush me for it, man. Because I'm always like, this matches. I'm like, no, Dad.
Man, if
You're
I couldn't-
wearing green and brown. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
If I couldn't
Stan
see colors,
style.
man, I'd be dying inside.
Yeah, it's because you're racist.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are we all
Well, I'm
pink
free to
inside?
decide. I'm free to decide.
And what other effects are there to being colorblind? What other mistakes do you make?
I mean, it's mostly just clothes situation. Yeah. And I also feel like I walk around with a little more dull version of life. Like, I feel like everyone else sees a lot more vibrant colors than I do. It kind of always feels like...
I thought that was depression.
You ever get humans wrong?
I might also be just
You might
depressed.
be clinically depressed.
But it's kind of like, it feels like a non-color corrected film always to me.
So,
sad.
let me name some colors. Can you see chocolate brown?
Yes.
Can you see electric blue?
Don't know what that is.
Wow, he doesn't know what electric blue is. Wow.
Like, what color are the 3 letters DLS behind Dan?
Yeah, that first one is, I'm going to say yellow.
Yep.
You're gonna say it.
I would say blue and red.
You just know that those are like that.
I just
it
know, like,
doesn't
my
look yellow.
version of yellow is just different from your version of yellow.
I want to be in your eyes for like
I
5
confuse
seconds.
oranges and yellows.
What?
That is a beautiful love song.
So do you not appreciate like chrome paint on cars?
That better make the Quavo Club.
Be in your
Quavo Club.
eyes.
For like 5 seconds. Hey, hold on. The Quavo Club is very different from the Quavo Club.
Cameron Crowe's producing the show today.
The
Quavo Club is much different than what we
That's
do
the club
on
I'm
Friday.
going to. I'm sorry.
We're gonna have Cuervo at the Quavo Club.
Yeah, no, we're not drinking. At the Quavo Club, we're drinking Hennessy.
Yesterday on the show, a lot of people were really touched by Tony Reale and the story of Around the Horn. No matter what you think of the show, I really did feel like we gave Tony Reale the right send-off, which is the applause that you would give at a craps table after a 23-year roll, where somebody has just rolled for 23 years, and then you start applauding.
That's what heaven is. I will sign up for that right now, and you can send me to the fiery depths of hell afterwards. Whoa. But if you give me a 23-year roll at a craps table where it's hot, that is the peak feeling. I have never felt better in my entire life than when I went on a heater at a craps table. Doing that for 23 years, unreal.
Let's put it on the poll. Is there any better feeling in the world than a 23-year heater at a craps table?
I hope virtual reality gets strong enough that I can just stay alive inside the Oculus Rift playing at a craps table and always winning. This is heaven.
They have that for sure. Right now, today, you could go play in a craps table in VR and feel that heater for as long as you want.
Wow. What am I doing here? I should be doing that.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing, though, that at some point you would become numb and it would become a special kind of solitary confinement to just win money for that long.
No, you can mix in a loss. And then everyone at the table, we still got it. Go roll. It comes right back to you. Everyone defers and goes right back to you. Oh, my God. Yo, 11.
What if you had to stay in there the 23 years? Like, you can start it, but you cannot stop it
walk away
until after 23 years.
Oh, TSL over here. Tequila, soda, lime. You know the deal.
One of the worst feelings in the world, and I hope Mike doesn't tell any private stories here, is being in the middle of a craps roll and having to go to the bathroom.
I'm not telling that story.
Wait, you had a crap roll during the craps roll?
I'm not doing it. Dan can reveal it.
Dan?
I'm not doing it.
Time to be a storyteller.
What happened to that edit in the middle of the new father observations, Tony? What happened?
Labs.
Labs, yeah.
Speaking of
I
labs.
haven't forgotten about it.
Labs.
Are you trying to get a dog? What is it? Or is this a blood lab?
Chris Cody, the place I was headed with that Around the Horn story is that you were telling me yesterday something. You came in. I don't know how it is that the audience felt about this, but Tony Reale is somebody who's a very special person to us for a number of different reasons, and I loved his grace in the moment, but I was super bummed out not really understanding why a 23-year show of great success was going off of the air. And the thing that I wanted to ask you was, you began to tell me something about Woody Page, one of the original members of Around the Horn yesterday, but I didn't know what it is that you were saying or why it is that you were talking about Woody Page.
I saw in a group chat pop up a link to an article that had the headline, Woody Page repeats denial that he plagiarized Dan Le Batard in the 90s.
Whoa.
And I had never heard of that. So I pose it to you. He plagiarized?
Well, but wait a minute. Where is this? Where did this appear?
That's been on the internet.
Yeah, he's been called Woody Page since I've known him because of that.
Yeah, it's not just you. Like, there's articles that share your story because you revealed it on the air before on our show. Ooh. And then it occasionally gets brought up and your name gets invoked as one of the ones.
What? You know why it's a big story, Dan? Because he plagiarized off of a legend. Regional legend trying to plagiarize off a national legend.
But why was it making a resurrection? Like, where did it appear? On a Reddit forum?
It appeared in my group chat. It's just a link to an article that I could click on that's just kind of saying that this has been a thing that he's been accused of. He's denied it, so let's be fair to him here.
No, we don't need to be fair to him. He absolutely did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, he absolutely. It was offensive. It was wildly offensive.
He added a little detail, though, that made it different.
What did he plagiarize?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what he plagiarized. I'm going to tell you the whole story.
I don't even know Woody Page as a journalist.
He's the guy on the Around the Horn with the sign.
I know who he is,
Okay.
and I love the sign.
Who sent
and
that
I'm
in the
like,
group chat?
that old guy is funny.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting sent.
Watch out, Taylor's under there. Watch out.
So Mike Ryan sent it in the group chat, but it was an article about who's written the article?
someone put in like Woody Page, like he put out a tweet, to all the frats out there that take a shot every time I screw up, something to that effect. And then I was just reminding people, I'm like, this is out there on the internet. I report, you decide.
All right, but I'm the shit stirrer.
Hold on. So let's hear
I didn't know he was going to go to air with it. I was just telling my friends, hey, did you know this about
it? Was it an article? Somebody wrote.
Yeah. No, I linked
what's
the articles.
The source of the article? All right, so I'll tell you the story.
Tell me the story.
I'm guessing that Andrew and Amin are going to be more offended by a different part of the story, not the plagiarizing part of the story.
Wow.
I think they're going to be bothered more by the second part of this story.
Okay. And you singled out me and Amin, so that makes me feel like it's going in a certain direction.
This is the direction it's going in.
Okay.
So the San Francisco 49ers are playing in the Super Bowl. Ricky Jackson is one of their famous players. Ricky Jackson's family lives in Pahokee, one of the most impoverished places that you will find anywhere in the United States. A couple of days before the Super Bowl, I go to his family's house in Pahokee and I write something about that. All of those details appear in a Woody Page story several days later as if he wrote the story, accompanied by quotes that are super suspicious because they are offensively in black dialect in a way that would be like really
Imagine
bad.
Quentin Tarantino doing an interview on BET.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to do it, dog. I let him know.
Writing in black scent is crazy. What year is this?
I'm going to say 99.
So nobody even gave a damn
Repeated
at that
denials from Woody Page.
No, but I mean, it's easy enough to look up. Like, he got into a lot of trouble and stuff because he was a star columnist in Denver, and problems came his way. Like, it's not so pre-internet that you cannot find it anywhere. It'd be easy enough to find.
It was 1995. That was 30 years ago.
Jeez.
And the article that Mike linked to was from westward.com in 2011.
This is not the first time Dan has revealed this on the air. It's just been a good 14 years.
They actually have a copy of Dan's email response to someone who asked about this,
Oh,
in which
wait.
he just detailed everything he just said on the air.
Oh, okay, nothing added there?
So
he's a writer.
Story adds up.
Did he change
Couple typos.
the actual quotes that you had
and put it in
your
black scent?
article, put it into black scent, and then put it in his article?
As I recall, they were just quotes I didn't recognize from a story.
Do you want to hear your email from 2009?
Let's read it.
That explains the details of this, Dan?
Proofread that. 09 was different.
Different Dan?
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Dan was running around saying some wild shit in 09. No, I'm like you, Hawk. I'm thinking, wait a second. Did he, like, if the dude said originally, yeah, and that's why I had to come back and do it. And Woody Page's version said, yeah, and that's why.
That's why I did that shit.
With all these.
Like, what? Woody Page?
As I recall, it's even worse than that. I'm pretty sure it was
that's
somebody
bad, bro.
saying something along the lines of Ricky Jackson could get all the free bait he wants in our town because it was just like something that was like just made up.
What you have in your email is you responded to someone who asked you in September of 2009, is Woody Page a big goofball when he isn't on Around the Horn, or is it just an act for TV? You answered, no, he's that. His career has kind of amazed me. My friends call him Woody Plage. Pre-internet, during a Super Bowl in Miami, I went to Ricky Jackson's Pahokee home. Wrote scene, described town. Had a scene in which Ricky was coming home with a big check for his family. A few days later, Page writes the same column. But he never went to the home, and he just made up some bait shop and gave some black guy a quote in ridiculous black dialect. This was during Denver News Wars. The other Denver paper called him out on it, even wrote a letter in which both columns were published, I think.
I wonder what the quote was. Now I need to find this quote. I need to see how.
Now we got to do it. Now we got to find the quote.
Ricky Jackson, Woody
It was
Page.
something about, as I recall, God, 30 years is a long time, but as I recall, it was something about Ricky
9.
Jackson being such a local celebrity that he could have all the free bait that he wanted when he returned back to town in the event that he wanted to fish. Chris, why are you, first of all, Chris, you seem mortified, and Mike is in the back row just delighted at his shit, at his personal
But
shit
I stirred it into the show, apparently. Like, this is
Oh
my
my
fault.
God! I found the quote.
What's the quote?
First of all,
I don't even know if I want to hear this on air because I'm trying to balance between.
I like him.
I did like him. I did.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so first of all, it's Harold's Bait Shop. He said there's a place called Harold's Bait Shop.
I don't think there was a place
But
called
that's what
Harold's
Woody
Bait
Page says.
Shop.
And the quote from the shop owner, the Jackson piece, quote, Ricky J gets all the free worms he wants, Harold says.
That's crazy.
Hold on, that's not the crazy part. The crazy part.
Start at the beginning. Hold on, do the whole thing again.
Let me
Hold
do
on.
it. Okay, are you guys ready? All right. Ricky J gets
I can hear
all...
your smile.
Okay, you don't gotta read the
Mike
accent
is no
like that to
longer
me.
smiling though. The shit's served back.
Ricky J gets all the free worms he wants, Harold says. Iffen he wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's nuts, bro.
Iffen.
That is ridiculous.
Iffen, IFFEN. Iffen he wins the Super Bowl. Then we gonna get some worms and get to fishing.
This is why we don't have Splash Mountain anymore.
That might be the most offensive quote I've ever heard.
Iffen.
That's how he ended the column. It's the final line of the column.
Goodness gracious. What if that's the reason around
That was his closer. That was his closer. He's like, I got the line. I got it. Here it is, and Iffen.
Wind up in the pitch.
That is bad. That is. Ooh.
Journalism dies.
The level of racist to write that quote, and it's not a real quote.
Dog, that's the part. That's the part right there. My man went Mark Twain on the shit.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Guys, it was the 90s.
It was.
I'm just surprised he didn't call Harold N-word Harold.
Granted, nobody cared in the 90s.
I don't feel good about this anymore.
That's a bad one. We got to do some more research.
But he did the article as if Dan wouldn't pick up the phone. Hey, was Woody through town? Like,
but also, like, let's just assume it was like his defense is this was all a coincidence. I actually did go to town. I actually did interview these people. I actually did find Harold, who owns Harold's Bait Shop. Dan, are you saying there was no Harold's Bait Shop in Pahokee?
As I recall, we went and tried to find one and couldn't.
You went back? You went back? Oh my
yeah,
God.
because when someone tries you
I
like
don't mean
that.
we physically went back. I meant we went
That's
to,
a long
called
drive to
around. Called around trying to figure out if that existed and never found.
A Harold's Bait
I
Shop.
think the competing. Look, they had huge newspaper wars in Denver, so the other newspaper was trying to get him in trouble.
What was it?
And failed.
Yeah.
They failed?
He didn't get it. He kept his job.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
If and they could find some evidence,
But
maybe he would have got in trouble.
Dan's just like really like a footnote. There have been those allegations like that nickname Woody Plage. Dan didn't come up with it.
It sounds like he created it because I've heard it twice now when Dan said it and also in that email.
When Dan said it?
Yeah.
Like, Dan
He said my friends call him Woody Plage.
Yeah.
I know that move.
His friends at the bait shop.
If and he gets plagiarized.
Oh, that's crazy.
I want to use Iffen the entire rest of the show now. Every time I say something.
Chris feels really uncomfortable when you do that.
I feel uncomfortable when he does it.
All of us do, but I got to be honest, in 30 years, having thought about it, like I wasn't totally sure what, I really thought it was a finna and not an Iffen.
I was going to say, I've literally never heard the term Iffen. Now, granted, I didn't grow up in the South.
If you had grew up in the South, you would have known it.
Finna, I use finna like all the time, and everyone I'm around, that's a term that we use. Iffen is like,
This is going to be really unfortunate.
that sounds like.
This is a time for like a victory lap. Like he was a key member.
I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to do this. I did not mean to do this.
This is a celebratory time.
Which
where
one
people
of the
regale
three
him
of
with,
you
like,
did this?
Great memories.
It was Mike, it was Chris, it was Dan. Which one of you?
I didn't.
The blame pie.
This is my fault.
How much of a percentage is going around here?
I told Dan
You
about
sent it to
this.
the group.
Yeah,
Chris, why would you ever tell Dan anything you didn't want to get on air?
I was genuinely curious. I had never heard the story, so I was like, oh, I'm seeing this thing about plagiarizing Woody Page, and Dan's
Who
like,
would have thought it would
all.
get to racism?
All I'm doing is trying to like change
Everyone.
individuals' opinion of Woody Page, not the masses.
Dan knew it would
and it's
get to
going to get
racism.
picked up on way
course
more than
it
it
is.
did before. At a time that it's really unfair to Woody.
All right, can we take it back?
No, absolutely not.
way
He
too
did that
late.
shit.
We can take it back. If and he comes on here and apologize, he got to say sorry to us. No, sir. No way.
Just in time.
Where's the mystery box? Mystery crate. Mystery. Magic crate. Magic crate of content.
Magic
Take one of those
Crate.
out.
Mystery Crate's a totally different thing.
Sorry.
Magic Crate is is what Andrew Hawkins has just reached into to bail us out on any topic if and we're struggling.
Tell me it's about John Cena. Tell me it's about John Cena.
Tell me it's got the word Iffen in it.
Who would be best to solve a train murder mystery? Who would be the killer, and why is it witty?
Oh, wow, that's an old one. I think we wrote that one like in, 2021?
It'd obviously be
What do you
me
mean
to solve
we
the
wrote
murder.
it?
Well, I mean,
John Cena's a killer.
the box gets...
What do you mean
No, it's
we
still witty.
wrote it? It's not. We didn't write anything. The box.
I meant
speaks
the
for
royal
itself.
we. The royal we.
So the question again is, who is responsible for a train mystery?
Can we get a new one?
Who would be the best to solve
let's get
a
a new one.
train
Who
murder
would-
mystery?
No, I want to answer this.
I don't like this.
I want to answer.
Put it back.
The best, it would be Tony.
It's me, obviously.
Tony's John
Clearly.
Cena's a murderer. He's a lead investigator.
It's a terrible
Okay, this is a good
question.
one.
That's Fuentes.
Who is the most famous person that might come to your funeral?
There you go.
Fuentes.
This is a good one.
That's a good one.
Fuentes.
That's
Dan,
a
would
good
you
one.
come to my funeral?
I'd be in jail, responsible for it.
Tony would close that case real quick.
All right,
Shut
I'm
case,
out.
Johnson.
It was good. It was fun. I loved working here. I think I got to go on that note.
Like a stanza.
Most famous person at your funeral.
Do we go around the horn?
Yeah.
Oh, too soon.
Wait, dude,
Who's the most famous person at your funeral? Is it the big guy?
At my funeral?
The big cactus?
You think this regional legend?
No.
No,
He's talking about
I'm talking about
the big
Shaq.
Aristotle.
Oh, no. Yeah.
J. Cole?
Diesel's not coming to my funeral, man.
J. Cole?
Cole would come to my funeral.
Well,
man.
that's
huge.
bigger
I'm
than
trying, but I'm trying to think of like a one-up Cole. I might be able to one-up Cole, man.
You're going to be able to one-up Cole?
You can't one-up
no,
Cole.
you can't one-up
It's
Cole.
a festival headliner.
He's lying.
You
Hold
can
on.
one-up Cole? Hold on a second.
Look at me, Leroy.
And that feels more racist than Iffen.
Look
There's plenty of black Louis.
I don't know why it did that. I don't know. I hit the look at me, Louis. I don't know why it did look at me, Leroy. I hit the look at
I
me,
know more
Louis.
black Louis than Leroy.
I hit the look at me, Louis.
I know,
don't
way
why
more
that-
black Louis than Leroy's.
I don't think I know
I do know-
Leroy.
I don't
I
know.
know some Leroy.
I know a Leroy.
Yeah.
Leroy.
Look at me, Luigi.
I don't know what's going on.
Half a battalion summoned.
I don't know what's going on with
It's
that.
all offensive. All of it.
Michael Jordan.
Most offended by him saying
He's not coming.
Michael Jordan's
here.
not going to your
Come on.
funeral.
Come on.
All right.
Michael Jordan won't go speak in Europe for $250 million, but he's coming to your funeral.
That's right.
If you're a small business owner, you know how difficult it can be hiring the right people. And it can be a real grind. It takes the right partner to make sure you're getting the most qualified candidates. Well, got the right partner for you. LinkedIn Jobs. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates that you can manage all in one place. Meadowlark Media continues to grow as a content studio, and we strive to hire only the best and most qualified candidates. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, they've made it easy for us to find them. So, if you're a small business owner looking for the perfect hire, LinkedIn has you covered. With LinkedIn's new job posting feature, you can write job descriptions effortlessly and get your job in front of the right people using deep candidate insights. Quality matters. Based on LinkedIn data, 72% of small businesses using LinkedIn say it helps them find top talent. Join over 2.5 million small businesses using LinkedIn for hiring today. Find your next great hire only on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DLS. That's linkedin.com/DLS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan. I talk to you about Miller Time all the time, but we're in the wintertime right now, and one of my favorite pastimes is to crack open a Miller Lite and enjoy myself some Miller Time during the wintertime, because when there's a brisk chill in the air, it just makes everything right. My friends and I who live down here in South Florida can actually sit outside because it's not super muggy. We can thoroughly enjoy our Miller Time together. And for you listening, I know there's a lot of things going on right now. Sports, chief among them. Nothing more important than sports. From basketball and hockey to game night, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. Now's the perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller Time. And you know Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers, and at just 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.